Hey guys, tonight we slip silently beneath the paper lantern light. The morning sun of Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, at 8:54 a.m. plus 07, rises gently over the world, casting a soft, golden light that mirrors the complex duality of Loki, the trickster god of Norse mythology. The air carries the faint scent of dew-kissed grass and the distant murmur of a waking forest, a quiet prelude to the tales of chaos and cunning that define his legacy. Loki, born of the giant Farbauti and the giantess Laufey, bridges the divine and the wild, his presence a thread woven through the fabric of the 9 realms. His children Fenrir the wolf, Jormungandr the serpent, and Hel the half-dead goddess embody the unpredictable power that flows from his blood, a force the Aesir feared would unravel their order. As we begin this journey, let the soft rustle of leaves and the gentle dawn breeze guide your thoughts, easing you into the story of Loki's fateful lineage. Loki's heritage marks him as an outsider among the Aesir, his giant blood a constant reminder of the wild chaos that lurks beyond Asgard's golden walls. Farbauti, his father, is a figure of lightning and storm, while Laufey, his mother, is associated with the earth's gentle foliage, a duality that shapes Loki's nature. This blend of elemental forces, fire and earth, infuses him with a versatility that defies the rigid order of the gods. Adopted into the Aesir through a blood oath with Odin, Loki becomes both ally and adversary, his cunning a double-edged sword that serves and subverts the divine council. The morning's calm at 8:55 a.m. reflects this tension, a serene balance between light and shadow, inviting us to explore the depths of his character. Loki's role in Norse mythology is a paradox, a dance between creation and destruction that echoes through the 9 realms. He is the catalyst behind some of the gods' greatest treasures, orchestrating the dwarves' crafting of Thor's hammer Mjolnir, Odin's spear Gungnir, and Freya's folding ship Skidbladnir. Yet his mischief brings chaos-cutting Sif's golden hair, leading to Thor's rage, or tricking the blind god Hoder into slaying Balder, an act that sets the stage for Ragnarok. This duality makes Loki a figure of fascination, his actions unpredictable yet purposeful, a mirror to the natural world's ebb and flow. The gentle rustle of leaves outside mirrors this rhythm, a reminder of nature's own trickery. The birth of Loki's children with Angrboda, a giantess from Jotunheim, marks a turning point in his legacy. Their union, born of wild passion rather than divine sanction, produces 3 offspring whose powers threaten the cosmic order. Fenrir, the monstrous wolf, grows with a strength that outpaces the gods' control. Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, coils around the world, his presence a constant menace. Hel, with her half-dead form, inherits a dominion over the dead that rivals the Aesir's authority. These children, born at 8:56 a.m. in the metaphorical dawn of their tale, embody Loki's untamed spirit, their potential a prophecy the gods cannot ignore. The morning light softens this revelation, inviting a gentle contemplation of their origins. Loki's home in Asgard is a place of uneasy truce, his golden hall a stark contrast to the wildness of his Jotunheim roots. He moves between these worlds, shape-shifting into a falcon, a mare, or a salmon, his fluidity a reflection of his giant heritage. This adaptability endears him to the gods, at times rescuing Idun's apples, or aiding Thor against giants, yet it fuels their suspicion. The Aesir's fear of Loki's lineage grows with each prophecy, The Norns whispers at Urd's well foretelling a future where his children turn against them. This tension simmers beneath the surface, a quiet undercurrent as the morning advances to 8:57 a.m. The Nine Realms feel the ripple of Loki's influence, his actions a thread that binds them to his fate. Yggdrasil, the world tree, stands as a silent witness, its branches stretching over Asgard, Midgard, and Jotunheim, its roots cradling the chaos Loki represents. His children, born of this cosmic network, inherit a power that transcends mortal bounds, their existence a challenge to the god's dominion. The morning breeze carries this story, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on Loki's role as both creator and destroyer, a trickster whose legacy shapes the realm's destiny. Loki's relationship with the Aesir is a delicate balance, his blood oath with Odin a bond that holds him yet strains under his nature. He dines with the gods, shares their mead, yet his giant blood pulls him toward Jotunheim's wildness. This duality is his strength and his curse, a force that births children too powerful to control. The morning serenity at 8:58 a.m. offers a moment to reflect on this paradox, a quiet space to consider how Loki's trickery sows the seeds of his own family's fate. As we stand beneath the imagined canopy of Yggdrasil, let the scent of dew and the rustle of leaves fill your senses. The air is cool, the ground soft with morning moisture, and the distant sound of a waking world blends with Loki's tale. This is the beginning of a journey into the power of his children, a story rooted in the trickster's legacy. The god's fear, born of prophecy and precedent, sets the stage for the binding, banishing, and exiling to come. Let this gentle dawn light guide you forward, carrying you to the next chapter where Ragnarok's shadow looms large. The legacy of Loki is a thread of chaos woven into the order of the Nine Realms, his children a testament to his untamed spirit. As the morning progresses to 8:59 a.m., the story unfolds, inviting us to explore the reasons behind the Aesir's drastic measures. His role as trickster, lover, and father shapes a narrative of power and peril, a tale that will resonate through the ages. Let the quiet strength of this moment linger, a foundation for the tales of Fenrir, Jormungandr, and Hel, whose destinies will challenge the gods' rule. The morning deepens at 8:55 a.m. +07 on Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, the sky a canvas of soft hues that echo the ominous prophecy hanging over the Nine Realms. The air carries a hint of coming change, a whisper of winds that stir the leaves of Yggdrasil, the world tree that binds all existence. Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, is a tale carved into the roots of this cosmic pillar, its weight felt even in the gentle dawn light. This prophecy foretells a cataclysm where Loki's children, Fenrir, Jormungandr, and Hel play pivotal roles, their power a threat the Aesir cannot ignore. As we delve into this looming shadow, let the soft rustle of morning breezes and the distant hum of nature guide your thoughts, easing you into the story of a fate that shaped the gods' desperate actions. Ragnarok's origins lie in the ancient visions of the Norns. The three sisters, Urd, Verdandi, and Skuldhu weave fate at the Well of Urd in Asgard. Their threads, dipped in the waters of wisdom, reveal a future of floods, fire, and the dead rising against the living. Odin, the Allfather, sought this knowledge at great cost, sacrificing an eye at Mimir's well and hanging on Yggdrasil for 9 days to grasp the runes. The prophecy they unveiled spoke of a final battle, the earth trembling, the seas churning, and the sky splitting as the forces of chaos overwhelm the divine order. This vision, whispered at 8:56 a.m. as the morning light strengthens, gripped the Aesir with a dread that permeated their golden halls, a fear that Loki's offspring would be its harbingers. Central to Ragnarok are the roles of Loki's children, each an embodiment of untamed power. Fenrir, the monstrous wolf, is destined to break free from his bonds and slay Odin, his jaws clamping shut on the Allfather's life. Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, will rise from the ocean's depths, his coils unleashing tidal waves as he battles Thor, their fight ending in mutual destruction. Hel, ruler of the shadowy Helheim, will lead an army of the dishonored dead, her half-dead form a grim commander in Loki's rebellion. These prophecies, etched into the Norns' loom, painted a picture of annihilation, their power a direct challenge to the Aesir's dominion. The morning's calm at 8:57 a.m. offers a quiet space to ponder this inevitability, a gentle contrast to the storm to come. The Aesir's fear was not born of mere superstition, but of precedent. Loki's trickery had already disrupted their world. His role in Baldur's death, a beloved son of Odin, set a precedent for betrayal. The Norns' warnings, combined with the children's rapid growth, fueled a sense of urgency. Fenrir's strength outpaced the god's ability to restrain him. Jormungandr's size threatened to encircle Midgard, and Hel's dominion over the dead rivaled Valhalla's glory. This trio, born of Loki's union with the giantess Angrboda, seemed to fulfill the prophecy's dark promise, their existence a ticking clock as the morning advances to 8:58 a.m. The gentle rustle of leaves mirrors this tension, a natural rhythm underscoring the god's dilemma. The prophecy's details were revealed through signs the Aesir could not ignore. The earth quaked as Fenrir grew, the seas roiled with Jormungandr's movements, and the air grew heavy with Hel's silent presence. Odin, ever the seeker of wisdom, consulted seers and runes, each vision reinforcing the threat. The Norns spoke of a chain of events: the wolf's escape, the serpent's rise, and the dead's march, all culminating in the Bifrost's fall and Asgard's ruin. This foreknowledge, a burden carried in the morning light at 8:59 a.m., drove the gods to act, their fear a quiet undercurrent beneath their feasts and councils. The world tree, standing tall, seemed to tremble with the weight of this fate. The impact on the Aesir was profound, their golden halls a fragile shield against the chaos to come. Thor, with his hammer Mjolnir, trained relentlessly, his thunder a defiant roar against the prophecy. Frigg, mourning Baldur, sought to avert the doom, binding all things with Oathshet the mistletoe, overlooked, became his bane. Odin, haunted by the vision of Fenrir's jaws, gathered Einherjar in Valhalla, preparing for the end. The morning's serenity at 9 a.m. offers a moment to reflect on this preparation, a quiet resolve born of fear. Loki's children, though young, carried the weight of this destiny, their power a mirror to the trickster's own unpredictability. The 9 realms felt the prophecy's ripple, each bound by Yggdrasil's branches and roots. Midgard's people whispered of the wolf and serpent, their tales a mix of awe and dread. Jotunheim's giants, kin to Loki, awaited the chaos with anticipation, while Helheim grew under Hel's rule, a silent army forming. The Aesir's fear extended beyond Asgard, a cosmic concern that united the realms in a shared fate. The morning breeze at 9:01 a.m. carries this story, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on the prophecy's power, a thread that binds the gods' actions to the children's potential, The decision to act against Loki's children was rooted in this prophetic threat. The Aesir saw their power as a destabilizing force, a chaos that could unravel Yggdrasil's order. Fenrir's strength, Jormungandr's reach, and Hel's dominion were not mere anomalies but fulfillments of the Norn's vision. The morning light at 9:02 a.m. softens this realization, a quiet invitation to understand the gods' perspective protection through preemption. The prophecy, though distant, loomed large, a shadow that shaped their every move. As we stand beneath Yggdrasil's imagined canopy, let the scent of morning dew and the rustle of leaves fill your senses. The air is cool, the ground soft with the day's first moisture, and the distant sound of a waking world blends with Ragnarok's tale. This is the beginning of the gods' struggle against Loki's lineage, a story driven by fear and foresight. The prophecy's weight lingers, a gentle guide as we move toward the binding of Fenrir, the casting of Jormungandr, and the exile of Hel. Let this serene morning light carry you forward, preparing you for the next chapter of this cosmic narrative. The looming threat of Ragnarok, with Loki's children at its heart, sets the stage for the Aesir's desperate measures. As the morning progresses to 9:03 a.m., the story unfolds, inviting us to explore the power and peril of Fenrir, Jormungandr, and Hel. Their destinies, foretold in the Norns' threads, challenge the gods' rule, a legacy of chaos born from the trickster's blood. Let the quiet strength of this moment linger, a foundation for the tales of restraint and sacrifice to come. The morning light of Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, at 8:56 a.m. plus 07, spills gently over the world, a soft glow that contrasts with the fierce presence of Fenrir, the monstrous wolf born of Loki's wild lineage. The air carries the crisp scent of dawn grass and the faint howl of a distant wind, a quiet echo of the beast's untamed spirit. Fenrir, offspring of Loki and the giantess Angrboda, emerged from the shadows of Jotunheim, his strength growing with each passing day, a power that defied the Aesir's control. This wolf, foretold to slay Odin at Ragnarok, became a symbol of chaos the gods could not ignore. As we step into this tale, let the gentle rustle of morning leaves and the soft hum of the waking earth guide your thoughts, easing you into the story of Fenrir's bound might. Fenrir's birth marked the beginning of the Aesir's unease, his form a towering menace even as a pup. His fur, dark as the deepest night, shimmered with an unnatural vitality, his eyes glowing with a wild intelligence that unnerved the gods. Raised among them in Asgard, he grew at an alarming rate, his strength outpacing the mightiest warriors. By the time the morning light reached 8:57 a.m., his legend was already taking shape, a creature whose paws shook the ground with each step. The Norns' prophecy, whispered at Urd's well, foretold his role in Odin's demise, a fate that drove the Aesir to view him not as a companion but as a threat to their order. This fear, born in the quiet dawn, set the stage for their desperate measures. The wolf's power was not just physical but primal, a force that resonated with the chaos of Jotunheim. His jaws, wide enough to swallow the sun, snapped with a force that splintered the strongest chains. His growth was relentless, his body expanding beyond the confines of the gods' halls, a living embodiment of the wildness Loki carried in his blood. The morning breeze at 8:58 a.m. carries a hint of this wildness, a gentle reminder of nature's untamed side. The Aesir, led by Odin, watched with growing alarm, their feasts overshadowed by the wolf's presence. Fenrir's defiance was not malice but instinct, a refusal to be tamed, a trait that fueled the god's resolve to bind him. The first attempts to restrain Fenrir were met with failure, a testament to his formidable strength. The gods crafted iron chains, leading and then dromi, each forged with the skill of Asgard's smiths. Yet Fenrir snapped them as if they were mere threads, his muscles rippling with a power that defied mortal craft. The morning light at 8:59 a.m. softens this struggle, a quiet space to imagine the clank of broken metal and the wolf's triumphant howl. These failures deepened the Aesir's fear, their confidence shaken by a creature whose might seemed to grow with each challenge. The prophecy loomed larger, Fenrir's unbound strength a ticking clock toward Ragnarok. Fenrir's relationship with the gods was a delicate dance of trust and suspicion. Initially, he played with the younger Aesir, his presence a curiosity rather than a threat. But as his size and power increased, the god's hospitality turned to wariness. Tyr, the god of war, became his closest companion, feeding him and earning a measure of trust. The morning's calm at 9 a.m. reflects this brief harmony, a moment of peace before the storm. Yet the Norn's warnings and the wolf's untamed nature eroded this bond, leading the Aesir to plot his restraint. Fenrir's defiance, a refusal to be caged, marked him as a symbol of chaos, a force the gods could not allow to roam free. The Nine Realms felt Fenrir's growing power, his howls echoing from Asgard to Midgard. The people of Midgard whispered of a beast that could devour the world, their tales a mix of awe and dread. Jotunheim's giants, kin to Loki, watched with pride, seeing in Fenrir a champion of their wild heritage. The morning breeze at 9:01 a.m. carries these echoes, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on the wolf's impact. Yggdrasil, the world tree, seemed to tremble with his presence, its branches a silent witness to the tension between order and chaos. This cosmic ripple heightened the Aesir's urgency to act. The god's initial approach was one of caution, seeking to test Fenrir's trust rather than force. They invited him to be bound, promising to release him if the chains held, a ploy to gauge his strength. The morning light at 9:02 a.m. softens this deception, a quiet invitation to understand their dilemma. Fenrir, sensing the trap yet unwilling to show weakness, agreed, his pride a mirror to the god's own. When Ledding and Dromi shattered, his howl shook the heavens, a defiant roar that cemented his legend. This moment, etched in the dawn's serenity, marked the beginning of the Aesir's more desperate measures. Fenrir's defiance was not born of evil, but of a natural resistance to confinement. His strength, a gift of his giant blood, was a force of nature, uncontrollable and wild. The morning's tranquility at 9:03 a.m. offers a space to reflect on this duality, a wolf both majestic and menacing. The Aesir, bound by their prophecy-driven fear, saw this resistance as a confirmation of the threat he posed. His unbound state threatened to unravel Yggdrasil's order, a chaos that could not be tolerated. This realization drove them to seek a solution beyond iron, a plan that would test their ingenuity and courage. As we stand beneath Yggdrasil's imagined canopy, let the scent of morning dew and the rustle of leaves fill your senses. The air is cool, the ground soft with the day's first moisture, and the distant sound of a waking world blends with Fenrir's tale. This is the prelude to his binding, a story of strength and defiance that challenges the gods' rule. The morning light at 9:04 a.m. guides us forward, a gentle beacon as we move toward the crafting of Gleipnir and the sacrifice it demands. Let this serene moment linger, preparing you for the next chapter of Fenrir's bound legacy. Fenrir's bound strength, a force too powerful to roam free, sets the stage for the Aesir's next move. As the morning progresses to 9:05 a.m., the story unfolds, inviting us to explore the wolf's defiance and the god's response. His power, foretold to end Odin's reign, marks him as a pivotal figure in Ragnarok, a legacy of chaos born from Loki's blood. Let the quiet rhythm of this dawn carry you forward, a foundation for the tales of restraint and sacrifice to come. The morning light of Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, at 8:57 a.m. plus 07, bathes the world in a gentle glow, a serene contrast to the vast, coiled presence of Jormungandr, the Midgard Serpent. The air carries the salty tang of distant seas and the soft murmur of waves lapping at the shore, a quiet prelude to the tale of this immense creature born from Loki's chaotic lineage. Jormungandr, offspring of Loki and the giantess Angrboda, grew to encircle the earth, his body a living boundary between Midgard and the unknown. Foretold to battle Thor at Ragnarok, his power posed a threat the Aesir could not tolerate, leading to his exile into the ocean's depths. As we embark on this journey, let the gentle rhythm of the morning tide and the whisper of the sea breeze guide your thoughts, easing you into the story of Jormungandr's encircling might. Jormungandr's birth was a moment of awe and dread, his form emerging from the wilds of Jotunheim as a serpent of unprecedented size. His scales, a deep greenish black, glistened with an otherworldly sheen, his eyes glowing like twin moons beneath the morning light at 8:58 a.m. Raised among the Aesir, he grew rapidly, his body stretching beyond the confines of Asgard's halls, his length soon rivaling the horizon. The Norns' prophecy, woven at Urd's well, foretold his role in Ragnarok, where he would rise to confront Thor, their battle ending in mutual doom. This vision, a shadow cast over the dawn, drove the gods to see him not as a curiosity but as a force that could shatter Midgard's stability. The sea's gentle murmur at 8:59 a.m. mirrors this tension, a quiet undercurrent to his tale. The serpent's power was immense, a force of nature that defined his role as the Midgard serpent. His coils, stretching around the earth, formed a living barrier, his breath said to stir the oceans into storms. His presence influenced the tides, his movements sending ripples across Midgard's shores, a reminder of his connection to the primal chaos of his giant heritage. The morning breeze at 9 a.m. carries the scent of salt water, inviting us to imagine his vast form beneath the waves. The Aesir, witnessing his growth, felt the weight of the prophecy Jormungandr's rise would unleash chaos, his venom poisoning the seas and air. This power, unchecked, threatened to unravel the order Yggdrasil sustained, a fear that grew with each passing day. The decision to cast Jormungandr into the sea was born of this prophetic dread. The gods, led by Odin, gathered in council, their golden halls a fragile refuge as the morning light reached 9:01 a.m. The Norns' warnings, combined with the serpent's rapid expansion, left no room for doubt this presence on land was a ticking clock toward Ragnarok. Thor, ever the protector, proposed exile, his hammer Mjolnir ready to enforce the decree. The act was not vengeance but necessity, a measure to contain a power too vast to control. The sea's embrace, vast and deep, became his prison, a decision etched in the dawn's serenity as a quiet act of survival. Jormungandr's relationship with the Aesir was one of wary coexistence, his early days marked by curiosity rather than hostility. He slithered among the gods, his scales brushing against their feet, a gentle giant in his youth. But as his size grew, so did the distance between them, his presence a constant reminder of Loki's wild blood. The morning calm at 9:02 a.m. reflects this fleeting harmony, a moment of peace before the exile. The prophecy, however, turned this companionship into suspicion, the gods seeing his every movement as a prelude to destruction. His banishment was a severance, a painful acknowledgement of his potential threat. The 9 realms felt Jormungandr's influence, his coils a silent guardian and menace. Midgard's people spoke of the serpent encircling their world, their tales a mix of reverence and fear. Jotunheim's giants, kin to Loki, saw him as a symbol of their strength, while Asgard's halls grew tense with his absence. The morning tide at 9:03 a.m. carries these echoes, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on his impact. Yggdrasil, the world tree, seemed to sway with his weight, its roots cradling the sea where he lay, a cosmic balance disrupted by his exile. This ripple heightened the Aesir's resolve to act. The casting into the sea was a dramatic act, carried out with a mixture of reluctance and resolve. The gods, with Thor at the forefront, ventured to the ocean's edge, Jormungandr's massive form writhing as they approached. The morning light at 9:04 a.m. softens this scene, a quiet invitation to envision the serpent's descent. With a heave, they cast him into the depths, his coils sinking beneath the waves, his eyes a final glimmer before the sea closed over him. This exile was not a punishment but a containment, a measure to delay the prophecy's fulfillment, a decision etched in the dawn's stillness. Jormungandr's power, even in exile, remained a force to be reckoned with. His presence in the ocean influenced the weather, his breath stirring storms that lashed Midgard's coasts. The morning's tranquility at 9:05 a.m. offers a space to reflect on this duality, a serpent both protector and destroyer. The Aesir, though relieved, knew his banishment was temporary, his role in Ragnarok a certainty. His encircling power, a threat to the world's stability, justified their action, a quiet acknowledgement of a force too great to roam free. As we stand by the imagined shore, let the scent of salt water and the rhythm of the waves fill your senses. The air is cool, the sand soft beneath your feet, and the distant sound of gulls blends with Jormungandr's tale. This is the prelude to his destiny, a story of power and exile that challenges the god's rule. The morning light at 9:06 a.m. guides us forward, a gentle beacon as we move toward the broader implications of his banishment. Let this serene moment linger, preparing you for the next chapter of Loki's children's legacy. Jormungandr's encircling power, a force too vast to remain on land, sets the stage for the Aesir's ongoing struggle. As the morning progresses to 9:07 a.m., the story unfolds, inviting us to explore the serpent's role and the god's response. His destiny, foretold to end with Thor, marks him as a pivotal figure in Ragnarok, a legacy of chaos born from Loki's blood. Let the quiet rhythm of the sea carry you forward, a foundation for the tales of restraint and sacrifice to come. The morning light of Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, at 8:57 a.m. plus 07, spills softly over the world, a gentle contrast to the shadowed realm of Hel. The daughter of Loki, and the giantess Angrabotha. The air carries the cool, earthy scent of dawn mist and the faint whisper of a breeze stirring through silent groves, a quiet prelude to the tale of this enigmatic figure. Hel, with her dual nature, half alive with youthful vigor, half decayed with the pallor of death, emerged as a ruler of the shadowy dead, her power a quiet threat to the Aesir's dominion. Exiled to govern Helheim, her presence was deemed too potent to remain among the gods, a decision rooted in the prophecy of Ragnarok. As we step into this story, let the gentle rustle of morning leaves and the soft hum of the waking earth guide your thoughts, easing you into the narrative of Hel's complex legacy. Hel's birth was a moment of stark duality, her form a living testament to the chaos of her parentage. Born in the wilds of Jotunheim, her left side glowed with the flush of life-smooth skin and bright eyes, while her right side bore the grey, sunken visage of death, a skeletal hand clutching the air. This striking contrast, evident even as the morning light reached 8:58 a.m., marked her as a being apart, a bridge between life and the afterlife. Raised among the Aesir, her presence unsettled the gods, her quiet demeanor belying a power that grew with each passing day. The Norns' prophecy, woven at Urd's well, foretold her role in leading the dead against the living at Ragnarok, a vision that cast a shadow over her early years and drove the Aesir's fear. The power of Hel lay in her dominion over the dead, a realm the Aesir could not control. Her authority extended to those who died of old age, sickness, or in unglorious ways, souls not chosen for Valhalla or Freyja's Folkvanga. Her hall, Gleipnir, rose in the depths of Helheim, a somber yet dignified structure surrounded by high walls and the dark river Gjöll. The morning breeze at 8:59 a.m. carries a hint of this stillness, inviting us to imagine the quiet procession of souls crossing the golden bridge Gjallabru. Hel's rule was not tyrannical but compassionate, offering rest to the forgotten. Yet this power rivaled the Aesir's authority, a threat they could not overlook. Her half-dead nature amplified this fear, a living reminder of mortality's inevitability. The decision to exile Hel to Helheim was a response to this prophetic dread. The gods, led by Odin, convened in Asgard's golden halls as the morning light advanced to 9 a.m., their council heavy with the Norns' warnings. Her growing dominion over the dead, combined with her lineage from Loki, suggested a force that could undermine their rule. The prophecy spoke of her leading an army of the dishonored at Ragnarok, a silent legion that would swell Loki's rebellion. This vision, a quiet storm beneath the dawn's serenity, prompted the Aesir to act, casting her into the underworld not as punishment but as containment. The act was etched in the morning's calm, a desperate measure to preserve their order. Hel's relationship with the Aesir was one of uneasy acceptance, her early days marked by a strange coexistence. She moved among the gods with a quiet grace, her dual form a curiosity rather than a threat. Yet as her power grew, so did the distance between them, her presence a constant reminder of Loki's wild blood. The morning tranquility at 9:01 a.m. reflects this fleeting harmony, a moment of peace before her exile. The prophecy, however, turned this companionship into suspicion, the gods seeing her every gesture as a prelude to chaos. Her banishment was a severance, a painful acknowledgement of her potential to challenge their dominion. The 9 realms felt Hel's influence, her shadowy realm a silent presence beneath Yggdrasil's roots. Midgard's people whispered of a queen of the dead, their tales a mix of reverence and unease. Jotunheim's giants, kin to Loki, saw her as a symbol of their enduring strength, while Asgard's halls grew tense with her absence. The morning mist at 9:02 a.m. carries these echoes, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on her impact. Helheim, under her rule, became a counterpoint to Valhalla, a place where the majority of souls found rest, a balance that unnerved the Aesir. This ripple heightened their resolve to isolate her power. The exile to Helheim was a solemn act, carried out with a mixture of reluctance and resolve. The gods, with Odin at the forefront, ventured to the realm's edge, Hel's form standing tall as they pronounced her fate. The morning light at 9:03 a.m. softens this scene, a quiet invitation to envision her descent. With a gesture, they cast her into the underworld, her half-dead visage a final glimmer before the shadows closed around her. This banishment was not vengeance, but a strategic move, a measure to delay the prophecy's fulfillment, a decision etched in the dawn's stillness as the clock ticked to 9:04 a.m. Hel's power, even in exile, remained a force to be reckoned with. Her rule over Helheim shaped the journey of souls, her compassion offering peace to the departed. The morning's serenity at 9:05 a.m. offers a space to reflect on this duality, a ruler both nurturing and formidable. The Aesir, though relieved, knew her banishment was temporary, her role in Ragnarok a certainty. Her dual nature, a threat to the gods' immortality, justified their action, a quiet acknowledgement of a power too great to roam free among the living. As we stand beneath Yggdrasil's imagined canopy, let the scent of morning mist and the rustle of leaves fill your senses. The air is cool, the ground soft with dew, and the distant sound of a waking world blends with Hel's tale. This is the prelude to her destiny, a story of power and exile that challenges the gods' rule. The morning light at 9:06 a.m. guides us forward, a gentle beacon as we move toward the broader implications of her reign. Let this serene moment linger, preparing you for the next chapter of Loki's children's legacy. Hel's dual nature, a force too potent to remain among the gods, sets the stage for the Aesir's ongoing struggle. As the morning progresses to 9:07 a.m., the story unfolds, inviting us to explore her role and the gods' response. Her destiny, foretold to lead the dead at Ragnarok, marks her as a pivotal figure, a legacy of chaos born from Loki's blood. Let the quiet rhythm of the dawn carry you forward, a foundation for the tales of restraint and sacrifice to come. The morning light of Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, at 8:58 a.m. +07, spreads a gentle warmth across the world, a serene contrast to the tense air surrounding the binding of Fenrir, the monstrous wolf of Loki's lineage. The air carries the crisp scent of dawn grass and the faint echo of a distant howl, a quiet reminder of the beast's untamed spirit. Fenrir, whose strength had shattered the strongest chains, posed a threat the Aesir could no longer ignore. His role in Ragnarok foretold to end Odin's reign. The crafting of Gleipnir and the sacrifice it demanded marked a desperate measure to restrain this power, a moment of courage and loss etched into the dawn. As we delve into this tale, let the soft rustle of morning leaves and the gentle hum of the waking earth guide your thoughts, easing you into the story of Fenrir's binding. The failure of the iron chains Ledding and Dromi left the Aesir with a growing sense of urgency, their golden halls shadowed by Fenrir's presence as the morning light reached 8:59 a.m. The wolf's howls reverberated through Asgard, his strength a living testament to the chaos of his giant heritage. The Norns' prophecy, whispered at Urd's well, foretold his escape and Odin's demise, a fate that drove the gods to seek a solution beyond mortal craft. Odin, with his wisdom tempered by fear, turned to the dwarves of Svartalfheim, masters of magic and metal, to forge a bond that could hold the beast. The morning's calm at 9 a.m. offers a quiet space to imagine the clatter of dwarven forges, a desperate hum beneath the dawn's serenity. The creation of Gleipnir was a marvel of ingenuity, a ribbon unlike any chain. The dwarves, under Sindri and Brock's guidance, crafted it from 6 impossible elements: the sound of a cat's footfall, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, the sinews of a bear, the breath of a fish, and the spittle of a bird. This ethereal thread, soft as silk yet unbreakable, shimmered with a faint glow as the morning advanced to 9:01 a.m. The process was a blend of magic and myth, a testament to the dwarves' skill, their hammers ringing in the depths of Svartalfheim. The Aesir saw in Gleipnir a hope to contain Fenrir's power, a delicate solution to a monstrous problem, its creation a quiet victory etched in the dawn's light. The binding itself was a moment of tense negotiation, the gods approaching Fenrir with a mixture of cunning and caution. They invited him to the island of Lyngvi, a place of open plains where the morning mist at 9:02 a.m. softened the scene. Fenrir, wary yet proud, agreed to be bound again, his trust in the gods tested by their promise to release him if the ribbon held. The wolf's massive form loomed over the landscape, his eyes gleaming with suspicion, a silent challenge to the Aesir's plan. The air carried the scent of dew and earth, a gentle backdrop to this pivotal moment, as the gods slipped Gleipnir around his paws, its softness masking its strength. Tyr, the god of war, played a crucial role, his bond with Fenrir a thread of trust amid the deception. As the only god the wolf would allow near, Tyr fastened the ribbon, his hand steady despite the looming sacrifice. The morning light at 9:03 a.m. highlights this act, a quiet gesture of courage as Fenrir, sensing the trap, snapped at Tyr's hand, severing it at the wrist. The god's cry echoed briefly, a sound swallowed by the dawn's stillness, his loss a price paid to secure the binding. This sacrifice, etched in blood and honor, cemented Tyr's place in the tale, his stump a silent testament to the Aesir's desperation. Fenrir's reaction was one of fury and realization, his massive body straining against Gleipnir as the morning advanced to 9:04 a.m. The ribbon held firm, its magic rooting him to the stone, his struggles carving deep grooves into the earth. The gods fastened the cord to a boulder, driving a peg into the ground to anchor him, a binding that would last until Ragnarok. The wolf's howls shook the air, a defiant roar that blended with the morning breeze, his jaws foaming as he bit down on the stone, forming the gap called Gjöll. This moment, a clash of power and restraint, marked the Aesir's triumph, a quiet victory shadowed by Tyr's loss. The 9 realms felt the binding's impact, Fenrir's howls echoing from Asgard to Midgard. The people of Midgard whispered of a wolf chained yet unbroken, their tales a mix of awe and fear. Jotunheim's giants, kin to Loki, mourned his captivity, seeing in him a champion of their wild heritage. The morning tide at 9:05 a.m. carries these echoes, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on the aftermath. Yggdrasil, the world tree, seemed to steady itself, its roots cradling the bound wolf, a cosmic balance restored, at least for now. This ripple reinforced the Aesir's resolve to control Loki's lineage. The binding was a desperate measure, a blend of magic and sacrifice that reflected the Aesir's fear. The morning's tranquility at 9:06 a.m. offers a space to reflect on this duality, a wolf both majestic and menacing now stilled. The gods, though relieved, knew this was a temporary reprieve, Fenrir's role in Ragnarok a certainty. His bound strength, a threat to their rule, justified their action, a quiet acknowledgement of a power too great to roam free. Tyr's sacrifice, a silent wound, lingered as a reminder of the cost. As we stand beneath Yggdrasil's imagined canopy, let the scent of morning dew and the rustle of leaves fill your senses. The air is cool, the ground soft with the day's first moisture, and the distant sound of a waking world blends with Fenrir's tale. This is the culmination of his binding, a story of strength and sacrifice that challenges the gods' rule. The morning light at 9:07 a.m. guides us forward, a gentle beacon as we move toward the next chapter of Loki's children's legacy. Let this serene moment linger, preparing you for the tales of Jormungandr and Hel's fates. The binding of Fenrir, a desperate measure to contain his power, sets the stage for the Aesir's ongoing struggle. As the morning progresses to 9:08 a.m., the story unfolds, inviting us to explore the wolf's defiance and the god's response. His destiny, foretold to end Odin's reign, marks him as a pivotal figure in Ragnarok, a legacy of chaos born from Loki's blood. Let the quiet rhythm of the dawn carry you forward, a foundation for the tales of restraint and exile to come. The morning light of Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, at 8:59 a.m. +07, spreads a gentle warmth across the world, a serene backdrop to the solemn act of casting Jormungandr, the Midgard Serpent, into the sea. The air carries the salty tang of the ocean and the soft sigh of waves lapping at the shore, a quiet prelude to the tale of this immense creature's exile. Jormungandr, born of Loki and the giantess Angrboda, had grown to encircle Midgard, his power a threat foretold to end with Thor at Ragnarok. The Aesir's decision to cast him into the ocean was a desperate bid to contain this force, transforming him into a reluctant guardian of the human realm. As we witness this moment, let the gentle rhythm of the morning tide and the whisper of the sea breeze guide your thoughts, easing you into the story of Jormungandr's banishment. The decision to exile Jormungandr crystallized in the wake of his rapid growth, his coils stretching beyond Asgard's capacity to contain him as the morning light reached 9 a.m. His scales, a deep greenish black, glistened with an otherworldly sheen, his eyes glowing like twin moons that unsettled the gods. The Norn's prophecy, woven at Urd's well, foretold his rise from the sea to battle Thor, their mutual destruction, a pivotal moment in Ragnarok. This vision, a shadow cast over the dawn's serenity, drove Odin and the Aesir to act, their golden halls a fragile refuge as they planned his removal. The morning breeze at 9:01 a.m. carries a hint of this tension, a gentle undercurrent to the god's resolve. The process of casting Jormungandr into the sea was a coordinated effort, requiring the strength of the Aesir and the wisdom of their council. Thor, with his hammer Mjolnir, led the endeavor, his thunderous presence a counterpoint to the serpent's quiet menace. The gods gathered at Midgard's coastal edge, the morning mist at 9:02 a.m. softening the scene as Jormungandr's massive form writhed before them. His length, now encircling the earth, made the task daunting, his body a living barrier that resisted their efforts. The air filled with the scent of salt water and the distant cry of gulls, a natural symphony underscoring this pivotal act as the gods prepared to heave him into the depths. The emotional weight of the exile was palpable, a mixture of reluctance and necessity among the Aesir. Jormungandr, in his youth, had been a curiosity, slithering among the gods with a gentle grace that belied his potential. Yet his growth, fueled by Loki's wild blood, turned this companionship into fear. The morning light at 9:03 a.m. highlights this duality, a quiet invitation to envision Thor's heavy heart as he gripped the serpent's coils. The gods, with a collective effort, lifted him, their voices a low chant as they cast him into the ocean. His eyes, wide with confusion, met theirs for a final moment before the waves closed over him, a silent plea lost to the sea's embrace. The cosmic impact of Jormungandr's banishment rippled through the 9 realms, his descent altering the balance of Midgard. The ocean, now his prison, churned with his movements, his coils settling into a reluctant guardianship. The morning tide at 9:04 a.m. carries these echoes, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on the aftermath. His presence influenced the tides and storms, his breath stirring the waters into tempests that lashed the shores. Yggdrasil, the world tree, seemed to sway with this shift, its roots cradling the sea where the serpent lay, a cosmic adjustment to the Aesir's intervention. This ripple reinforced their belief that his exile was a necessary containment. The justification for casting Jormungandr into the sea lay in his overwhelming power and the prophecy's certainty. His size threatened to crush Midgard, his venom a poison that could sicken the earth. The morning's tranquility at 9:05 a.m. offers a space to reflect on this duality, a serpent both protector and destroyer. The Aesir saw his banishment as a strategic move, transforming him into a guardian whose encircling form shielded Midgard from greater chaos, yet they knew this was temporary. His role in Ragnarok, foretold to end with Thor, loomed as an inescapable truth, his power too great to roam free on land. The act itself was marked by a solemnity, the gods standing at the shore as Jormungandr sank beneath the waves. The morning light at 9:06 a.m. softens this scene, a quiet invitation to picture the serpent's final struggle, his coils vanishing into the depths. Thor's hammer rested at his side, a symbol of the force used to enforce this decree, while Odin's gaze lingered on the horizon, a silent acknowledgement of the cost. The sea, vast and unforgiving, became his domain, a prison that doubled as a barrier, a decision etched in the dawn's stillness as the clock ticked to 9:07 a.m. Jormungandr's role as a reluctant guardian emerged from this exile, his presence a double-edged sword. He protected Midgard by encircling it, yet his potential to rise and unleash chaos remained. The morning's serenity at 9:08 a.m. offers a moment to ponder this paradox, a creature bound by fate yet integral to the world's balance. The Aesir, though relieved, carried the burden of this decision, knowing his banishment delayed, but did not avert the prophecy. His power, a threat to their rule, justified their action, a quiet testament to the lengths they would go to preserve order. As we stand by the imagined shore, let the scent of salt water and the rhythm of the waves fill your senses. The air is cool, the sand soft beneath your feet, and the distant sound of the sea blends with Jormungandr's tale. This is the culmination of his casting out, a story of power and exile that shapes the gods' rule. The morning light at 9:09 a.m. guides us forward, a gentle beacon as we move toward the next chapter of Loki's children's legacy. Let this serene moment linger, preparing you for the tale of Hel's exile. The casting of Jormungandr, a measure to contain his encircling power, sets the stage for the Aesir's ongoing struggle. As the morning progresses to 9:10 a.m., the story unfolds, inviting us to explore the Serpent's role as a reluctant guardian and the god's response. His destiny, foretold to end with Thor, marks him as a pivotal figure in Ragnarok, a legacy of chaos born from Loki's blood. Let the quiet rhythm of the sea carry you forward, a foundation for the tales of restraint and sacrifice to come. The morning light of Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, at 9 a.m. plus 07, bathes the world in a gentle golden hue, a serene contrast to the shadowed exile of Hel, the daughter of Loki, and the giantess Angrboda. The air carries the cool, earthy scent of dawn mist and the soft rustle of leaves stirring in the quiet groves, a peaceful prelude to the tale of her banishment. Hel, with her dual nature half alive, half decayed, grown into a ruler whose power over the dead unsettled the Aesir, her role in Ragnarok foretold to lead the dishonored against them. The decision to exile her and establish Helheim was a strategic move to contain this force, a moment of solemnity etched into the dawn. As we step into this narrative, let the gentle hum of the morning breeze and the whisper of the waking earth guide your thoughts, easing you into the story of Hel's isolated reign. The seeds of Hel's exile were sown as her power over the dead became undeniable, her presence casting a shadow over Asgard as the morning light reached 9:01 a.m. Her form, a striking blend of youthful vigor on one side and the pallor of death on the other, grew more pronounced with each passing day, her authority extending to souls not claimed by Valhalla or Freya's Folkvangra. The Norns' prophecy, woven at Urd's well, foretold her leading an army of the dead at Ragnarok, a silent legion under Loki's command. This vision, a quiet storm beneath the dawn's serenity, drove Odin and the Aesir to convene, their golden halls a fragile sanctuary, as they debated her fate. The morning mist at 9:02 a.m. carries a hint of this tension, a gentle undercurrent to their resolve. The process of exiling Hel was a deliberate and somber act, requiring the collective will of the Aesir. Odin, with his wisdom tempered by fear, led the council, his single eyes scanning the gathered gods as the morning advanced to 9:03 a.m. The decision was not born of malice but necessity, her growing dominion over the dead rivaling their authority. They chose a realm beneath Yggdrasil's roots, a shadowy domain suited to her nature, and with a ritual chant, they opened a passage to this underworld. The air filled with the scent of damp earth and the faint echo of departing souls, a natural symphony underscoring this pivotal moment as Hel was guided toward her new domain. The emotional weight of the exile was heavy, a mixture of reluctance and duty among the Aesir. Hel, in her youth, had moved among them with a quiet grace, her dual form a curiosity that sparked both awe and unease. Yet her power, fueled by Loki's wild blood, turned this companionship into apprehension. The morning light at 9:04 a.m. highlights this duality, a quiet invitation to envision Odin's steady gaze as he pronounced her fate. The gods, with a collective effort, escorted her to the threshold, her half-dead visage, a final glimmer, before the shadows of Helheim enveloped her. Her departure was marked by silence, a poignant acknowledgement of the cost of their decision. The creation of Helheim was a direct result of this exile, a realm shaped by Hel's presence and the Aesir's intent. The land emerged as a twilight expanse, cloaked in mist and bordered by the dark river Gjöll, its golden bridge Gjallabru, a solemn crossing for the dead. The morning tide at 9:05 a.m. carries these echoes, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on the realm's establishment. Her hall, Eljudnir, rose with high walls and a somber dignity, a sanctuary for those who died of old age or sickness. Yggdrasil's roots cradled this new domain, a cosmic adjustment to the Aesir's intervention, its branches trembling with the weight of this balance. This creation reinforced their belief that isolation was the only answer. The justification for exiling Hel lay in her overwhelming power and the prophecy's certainty. Her dominion over the dead threatened to overshadow Valhalla's glory, her half-dead nature a constant reminder of mortality's reach. The morning's tranquility at 9:06 a.m. offers a space to reflect on this duality, a ruler both compassionate and formidable. The Aesir saw her banishment as a strategic move, transforming her into a guardian of the departed, yet they knew this was temporary. Her role in Ragnarok, foretold to lead the dead, loomed as an inescapable truth. Her power too great to roam free among the living, the act itself was marked by a ritualistic solemnity, the gods standing at the passage's edge as Hel descended. The morning light at 9:07 a.m. softens this scene, a quiet invitation to picture her steady steps, her skeletal hand trailing the air. Odin's voice, low and resonant, sealed her fate, while Thor's hammer rested at his side, a symbol of the force behind this decree. The underworld, vast and shadowy, became her domain, a prison that doubled as a realm of rest, a decision etched in the dawn's stillness as the clock ticked to 9:08 a.m. Hel's role as ruler of Helheim emerged from this exile, her presence a double-edged sword. She offered peace to the departed, her compassion a quiet strength, yet her potential to rise with Loki's army remained. The morning serenity at 9:09 a.m. offers a moment to ponder this paradox, a queen bound by fate, yet integral to the world's cycle. The Aesir, though relieved, carried the burden of this decision, knowing her isolation delayed but did not avert the prophecy. Her power, a threat to their immortality, justified their action, a silent testament to the lengths they would go to preserve order. As we stand beneath Yggdrasil's imagined canopy, let the scent of morning mist and the rustle of leaves fill your senses. The air is cool, the ground soft with dew, and the distant sound of a waking world blends with Hel's tale. This is the culmination of her exile, a story of power and creation that shapes the gods' rule. The morning light at 9:10 a.m. guides us forward, a gentle beacon as we move toward the next chapter of Loki's children's legacy. Let this serene moment linger, preparing you for the tale of the gods' fear and their balancing act. The exiling of Hel, a measure to contain her power over the dead, sets the stage for the Aesir's ongoing struggle. As the morning progresses to 9:11 a.m., the story unfolds, inviting us to explore her role as ruler of Helheim and the gods' response. Her destiny, foretold to lead the dead at Ragnarok, marks her as a pivotal figure, a legacy of chaos born from Loki's blood. Let the quiet rhythm of the dawn carry you forward, a foundation for the tales of restraint and sacrifice to come. The morning light of Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, at 9:01 a.m. plus 07, bathes the world in a gentle, golden glow, a serene contrast to the deep-seated fear that gripped the Aesir as they grappled with the power of Loki's children. The air carries the fresh scent of dew-kissed grass and the soft rustle of leaves stirred by a waking breeze, a quiet prelude to the tale of divine anxiety and moral struggle. Fenrir, Jormungandr, and Helheim bound, cast out, or Exile represented a force too potent to leave unchecked, their roles in Ragnarok foretold by the Norns. The Aesir's efforts to balance this overwhelming power with the inevitability of prophecy shaped their actions, a delicate dance between control and fate. As we explore this chapter, let the gentle hum of the morning and the whisper of the earth guide your thoughts, easing you into the story of the gods' fear. The fear among the Aesir was not a sudden panic but a growing unease, rooted in the Norns' prophecy whispered at Urd's well as the morning light reached 9:02 a.m. The threads of fate revealed a future where Fenrir would slay Odin, Jormungandr would battle Thor to mutual destruction, and Hel would lead the dead against the living, all under Loki's rebellious command. This vision, a shadow cast over Asgard's golden halls, weighed heavily on Odin, whose wisdom came at the cost of an eye, and 9 days on Yggdrasil. The morning's calm at 9:03 a.m. offers a quiet space to imagine his burdened gaze, a leader torn between preserving order and confronting destiny. This fear, a quiet undercurrent, drove the gods to act preemptively against Loki's offspring. The power of Loki's children was a mirror to the chaos of their father's heritage, a force the Aesir struggled to comprehend. Fenrir's strength shattered iron chains, his howls shaking the earth. Jormungandr's coils encircled Midgard, his breath stirring storms, and Hel's dominion over the dead rivaled Valhalla's glory. The morning breeze at 9:04 a.m. carries a hint of this wildness, inviting us to reflect on the gods' dilemma. The Norns' warnings, combined with the children's rapid growth, suggested a power that could unravel Yggdrasil's order. The Aesir saw their actions binding Fenrir with Gleipnir, casting Jormungandr into the sea, and exiling Hel to Helheim as necessary. Yet each measure carried the weight of moral compromise. The balancing act was a complex interplay of control and prophecy, the gods seeking to delay rather than defy fate. Odin consulted seers and runes, his efforts a quiet desperation as the morning advanced to 9:05 a.m. The binding of Fenrir required Tyr's sacrifice, a loss that haunted the war god. The exile of Jormungandr altered Midgard's tides. A shift felt across the realms, and Hel's banishment created Helheim, a realm of rest, yet a potential army. The morning's tranquility offers a moment to ponder this paradox, a balance between preserving their rule and acknowledging the inevitability of Ragnarok. The gods' fear was not just of defeat, but of losing their identity as guardians of order. The moral dilemmas faced by the Aesir added depth to their fear. Thor, protector of Midgard, wrestled with the act of casting Jormungandr into the sea, his hammer a tool of both defense and aggression. The morning light at 9:06 a.m. highlights this inner conflict, a quiet invitation to envision his reluctance. Frigg, mourning Balder's death, instigated by Loki, sought to avert doom, yet her efforts faltered against the prophecy's tide. Odin, the Allfather, bore the heaviest burden, his wisdom clashing with the knowledge that his own demise was foretold. The morning's serenity at 9:07 a.m. reflects this tension, a gentle space to consider the cost of their preemptive strikes. The 9 realms bore witness to the Aesir's struggle, each realm feeling the ripple of their actions. Midgard's people whispered of a wolf bound, a serpent exiled, and a queen of the dead, their tales a mix of awe and dread. Jotunheim's giants, kin to Loki, seethed at the containment of his children, their pride fueling future rebellion. The morning mist at 9:08 a.m. carries these echoes, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on the cosmic impact. Yggdrasil, the world tree, stood as a silent arbiter, its branches and roots cradling the bound, the banished, and the exiled, a balance strained but intact. This ripple reinforced the gods' belief that their fear-driven measures were justified. The justification for their actions lay in the prophecy's certainty and the children's inherent power. Fenrir's unbound strength threatened Asgard, Jormungandr's rise could drown Midgard, and Hel's rule over the dead challenged the Aesir's authority. The morning's calm at 9:09 a.m. offers a space to reflect on this duality, a power both majestic and menacing now restrained. The gods saw their measures as a shield against chaos, a temporary reprieve until Ragnarok's fulfillment. Yet this control came at a cost: sacrifices, severed bonds, and a moral stain that lingered as the morning advanced to 9:10 a.m. The fear persisted despite their efforts, a quiet acknowledgement that prophecy could not be fully escaped. The Aesir trained in Valhalla, their Einherjar preparing for the end, yet the shadow of Loki's children loomed large. The morning light at 9:11 a.m. softens this realization, a gentle invitation to understand their perspective protection through preemption. The gods' actions, though harsh, were a testament to their love for the realms, a desperate bid to extend their reign. This fear, a driving force, shaped their legacy, a balance between power and fate etched in the dawn's stillness. As we stand beneath Yggdrasil's imagined canopy, let the scent of morning dew and the rustle of leaves fill your senses. The air is cool, the ground soft with the day's first moisture, and the distant sound of a waking world blends with the god's tale. This is the heart of their struggle, a story of fear and balance that defines their rule. The morning light at 9:12 a.m. guides us forward, a gentle beacon as we move toward the final chapter of Loki's children's legacy. Let this serene moment linger, preparing you for the conclusion of this cosmic narrative. The gods' fear, a measure to balance power and prophecy, sets the stage for the culmination of their efforts. As the morning progresses to 9:13 a.m., the story unfolds, inviting us to explore the legacy of their actions and the inevitable approach of Ragnarok. The destinies of Fenrir, Jormungandr, and Hel, foretold to reshape the world, mark them as pivotal figures, a legacy of chaos born from Loki's blood. Let the quiet rhythm of the dawn carry you forward, a foundation for the tales of restraint's cost to come. The morning light of Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025, at 9:02 a.m. plus 07, casts a gentle glow over the world, a serene contrast to the enduring legacy left by the Aesir's restraint of Loki's children. The air carries the fresh scent of dew-kissed grass and the soft rustle of leaves stirred by a waking breeze, a quiet reflection of the balance between order and chaos forged through their actions. Fenrir, bound with Gleipnir, Jormungandr cast into the sea, and Hel, exiled to rule Helheimiac measure, carried a cost, their power restrained yet destined to shape Ragnarok. This final chapter explores the long-term consequences, the moral and cosmic price paid, and the lessons learned from controlling the wild spirit of Loki's lineage. As we conclude this journey, let the gentle hum of the morning and the whisper of the earth guide your thoughts, easing you into the legacy of restraint. The immediate aftermath of the Aesir's actions left a ripple across the 9 realms, a tension felt as the morning light reached 9:03 a.m. Fenrir's howls, though muffled by his bonds, echoed through Asgard, a reminder of his unbroken spirit. Jormungandr's exile stirred the seas, his presence a silent guardian yet a brewing storm. Hel's rule in Helheim offered peace to the dead, yet her army loomed as a shadow over the living. The morning's calm at 9:04 a.m. offers a quiet space to imagine this uneasy peace, a balance bought with sacrifice Tyr's hand, the gods' moral compromise, and the severance of familial ties. The Norns' prophecy, though delayed, remained an inescapable truth, its threads woven into Yggdrasil's roots. The long-term consequences were profound, shaping the Aesir's reign and the realm's destiny. The binding of Fenrir required constant vigilance, his chains a symbol of control yet a ticking clock to Ragnarok. Jormungandr's banishment altered Midgard's climate, his storms a testament to the cost of exile. Hel's Helheim became a counterpoint to Valhalla, her compassion a quiet strength that challenged the gods' glory. The morning breeze at 9:05 a.m. carries these echoes, inviting us to reflect on the strain on Yggdrasil, its branches and roots bearing the weight of this restraint. The Aesir's fear-driven measures preserved their order, but at the expense of harmony with Loki's wild heritage. The moral cost weighed heavily on the gods, a burden carried in their golden halls as the morning advanced to 9:06 a.m. Odin, the Allfather, bore the guilt of preempting fate, his wisdom clashing with the prophecy's inevitability. Thor, protector of Midgard, wrestled with the memory of casting Jormungandr into the sea, his hammer a tool of both salvation and sorrow. The morning's tranquility offers a moment to ponder this duality, a legacy of restraint marked by sacrifice and severed bonds. The gods' actions, though strategic, left a stain Tyr's loss, the exile of kin, and the alienation of Loki costs that lingered as the morning reached 9:07 a.m. The cosmic price was a shift in the balance of the 9 realms, a tension felt in Midgard's whispers and Jotunheim's unrest. The people spoke of bound wolves, exiled serpents, and a queen of the dead, their tales a mix of awe and fear. The giants, kin to Loki, nurtured a grudge, their pride fueling future rebellion. The morning mist at 9:08 a.m. carries these echoes, a gentle guide that invites us to linger on the impact. Yggdrasil, the world tree, stood as a silent witness, its structure strained yet resilient, a testament to the fragile equilibrium maintained by the Aesir's actions. The lessons of this restraint offer a reflection on chaos and order, a theme woven into the morning light at 9:09 a.m. The Aesir learned that power, even when controlled, carries a cost sacrifices that preserve but do not eliminate destiny. Fenrir's defiance, Jormungandr's guardianship, and Hel's compassion reveal a wildness that enriches the cosmos, a balance the gods sought to suppress. The morning serenity invites us to consider this paradox, a legacy where restraint shaped the world, yet sowed the seeds of its renewal through Ragnarok. As we stand beneath Yggdrasil's imagined canopy, let the scent of morning dew and the rustle of leaves fill your senses. The air is cool, the ground soft with the day's first moisture, and the distant sound of a waking world blends with this tale. This is the culmination of the Aesir's struggle, a story of fear, sacrifice, and balance, that defines their rule. The morning light at 9:10 a.m. guides us forward, a gentle beacon as we approach the conclusion, preparing for a reflective close to this cosmic narrative. As the twilight of Helheim deepens in our minds, let the image of its quiet rivers and shadowed groves linger, a testament to Hell's enduring peace. The golden bridge, Jalabru, stands as a silent sentinel, its reflection shimmering in the still waters of Joel, a beacon of transition that soothes the weary soul. Fenrir's bound form, Jormungandr's coiled depths, and Hell's gentle rain weave a tapestry of resilience, their chaos a necessary thread in the fabric of existence. The morning light at 9:11 a.m. softens this vision, inviting you to release the weight of the gods' choices and embrace the balance they sought. As the breeze carries the scent of dawn, let the quiet rhythm of the earth ease you into a state of peace, a reminder that even in restraint, there is renewal. The legacy of Loki's children, born of chaos yet bound by fate, lingers as a lesson order and wildness coexist, their dance eternal under Yggdrasil's branches. Fades into the promise of night, let the tale of Loki's children Fenrir's bound strength, Jormungandr's ocean depths, and Hell's shadowy peace wrap around you like a warm embrace. The rustle of leaves under Yggdrasil's branches whispers a lullaby, inviting you to release the day's weight and drift into dreams. Imagine the soft glow of dawn giving way to a starry sky, where the gods' struggles and sacrifices blend into a quiet harmony. The cool breeze at 9:12 a.m. carries a wish for your rest, a gentle reminder to let your mind wander through peaceful realms, free from chaos or fear. May your sleep be deep and restful, filled with the serenity of Midgard's shores, the stillness of Helheim's mists, and the promise of renewal under the world tree. Close your eyes now, and let the night cradle you until the morning light returns, bringing new stories to explore.